My wife's best friend moved into our guest room for what was supposed to be 2 weeks while she found a new apartment, but 6 months later, she was still there treating my home like hers. And when I finally asked my wife when she was leaving, my wife looked me dead in the eye and said if I didn't like it, I should leave. So I packed my bags and walked out knowing they had no idea I was the only one on the mortgage of the house I was about to sell. My name is David, and I'm 34 years old. This story is about how I lost my marriage but gained my self-respect back. It's about the moment you realize you've been taken for granted so completely that you've become invisible in your own home. And it's about the choice I made that changed everything. I met my wife Lauren when we were both 26. She was funny and ambitious and had this energy that made every room brighter. We dated for 2 years before I proposed. The wedding was small but perfect. We bought a house together a year after getting married. Or rather, I bought a house and she moved in. That's an important detail I'll come back to. When we were house hunting, Lauren was between jobs. She had quit her marketing position to freelance, and it wasn't going well. I was working as a software engineer, making good money. I told her not to worry about it. I would handle the down payment and the mortgage until she got back on her feet. So the house went in my name only. Lauren said she would add her name to the deed once she was contributing financially. She never did. At the time, I didn't think much of it. We were married. What was mine was hers, right? I trusted her completely. Lauren's best friend Vanessa had been in her life since college. They were incredibly close. Vanessa was loud and opinionated and always seemed to be in the middle of some drama. She had been engaged twice. Both times it fell apart spectacularly. She changed jobs constantly. She was always fighting with roommates or landlords or coworkers. I tried to like Vanessa because she was important to Lauren. But honestly, she exhausted me. Every conversation was about her problems. Every gathering had to revolve around her needs. And she had this way of making little comments that felt like digs. Like when we bought the house, she said it was cute for a starter home. Or when I got promoted, she said, I was lucky my job wasn't too demanding. Lauren didn't see it. Or she chose not to. She would defend Vanessa constantly. That's just how she is.
She doesn't mean it like that.
You're too sensitive. After a while, I stopped pointing it out. It wasn't worth the arguments. Last March, Vanessa called Lauren crying. She had been renting a room from someone she met online, and apparently it went bad. The details were vague, but Vanessa claimed the landlord was crazy and she needed to get out immediately. She asked if she could stay with us for 2 weeks while she found a new place. Lauren came to me with pleading eyes. David, please. She has nowhere else to go. Just 2 weeks. I'll make sure she looks for places every day. I hesitated. Our guest room was small but comfortable. 2 weeks wasn't forever. And I knew it meant a lot to Lauren. So I said yes. Vanessa moved in the next day. She brought 6 suitcases and a dozen boxes. For someone staying 2 weeks, it seemed like a lot of stuff. But I told myself she was probably just bringing everything from her old place. She set up the guest room like it was her apartment. Photos on the walls. Her own bedding. Decorations everywhere. The first week was okay. Vanessa was polite and thankful. She bought groceries once. She cleaned up after herself. She spent most of her time in the guest room. I thought maybe this wouldn't be so bad. 2 weeks would fly by, and she would be gone. But week 2 came and went. Vanessa mentioned looking at apartments, but never actually went to see any. Lauren made excuses. The market is tough right now. She needs to save more money. She's still recovering from the trauma of her last place. I kept quiet because I didn't want to seem heartless. A month passed. Vanessa was fully settled in. She had taken over half the bathroom with her products. Her food filled the fridge. She was always in the living room when I got home from work. Always there during dinner. Always present during what used to be my private time with my wife. I tried to talk to Lauren about it gently. Hey, when do you think Vanessa will find a place? Lauren got defensive immediately. Why are you trying to kick her out? She's having a hard time. Can't you be more compassionate? I backed off. I didn't want to fight. 2 months in, and Vanessa had stopped even pretending to look for apartments. She was working part-time at some retail job and spending her money on clothes and going out. Not on security deposits or first month's rent. When I mentioned this to Lauren, she snapped at me. You don't know what her financial situation is like. Stop judging her. But I did know. Because Vanessa talked constantly about her shopping hauls and weekend trips with other friends. She wasn't broke. She was comfortable, living rent-free in our home, while spending her money on whatever she wanted. 3 months passed. I came home one day to find Vanessa had rearranged our living room. She said the energy was better this way. Lauren agreed with her. They had moved my chair to the basement. When I asked about it, Lauren said we never used it anyway. I didn't even argue. What was the point? Vanessa started inviting people over without asking. I would come home to strangers in my house. Lauren thought it was great that Vanessa was making friends. I thought it was disrespectful. Our home had turned into Vanessa's social hub. Dinner became whatever Vanessa wanted. She was vegetarian, so suddenly we were only eating vegetarian meals. I like meat. I had always eaten meat. But if I cooked chicken, Vanessa would make comments about dead animals and Lauren would give me disappointed looks. So I stopped. For months and I was a stranger in my own home. Vanessa and Lauren had inside jokes I wasn't part of. They watched shows together that I didn't like. They made plans without including me. I felt like the third wheel in my own marriage. I tried to talk to Lauren about it seriously. I said we needed boundaries. We needed a timeline for when Vanessa would leave. We needed our space back. Lauren looked at me like I was being unreasonable. She's my best friend, David. She needs us. Why are you being so selfish? Selfish. I was being selfish for wanting my house back. For wanting time alone with my wife. For wanting to feel comfortable in the home I paid for. 5 months in, and I was at my breaking point. I barely saw Lauren alone anymore. Vanessa was always there. Always inserting herself into our conversations. Always needing something. Always the priority. One night, I tried to talk to Lauren in our bedroom. Vanessa was downstairs watching TV. I closed the door and said we needed to have a serious conversation about living arrangements. Lauren cut me off immediately. If you're going to complain about Vanessa again, I don't want to hear it. I stayed calm. I said this wasn't sustainable. 6 months was not temporary. We needed our privacy back. We needed to be a couple again, not a couple plus permanent house guest. Lauren rolled her eyes. You're being dramatic. It's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. My marriage was falling apart. My home didn't feel like mine. My wife barely looked at me anymore. But it wasn't a big deal. 6 months hit. Half a year of Vanessa living with us. I made a decision. I told Lauren we needed to sit down, all 3 of us, and discuss next steps for Vanessa moving out. Lauren refused. She said Vanessa was going through a lot, and I needed to be patient. Patient. I had been patient for 6 months. I had been accommodating and understanding and flexible. And I had gotten nothing in return except being made to feel like an intruder in my own home. That weekend, I came home from a work trip a day early. I wanted to surprise Lauren. Maybe we could go out to dinner, just the 2 of us. But when I walked in, I heard laughing from the kitchen. Lauren and Vanessa were drinking wine and cooking together. I stood in the doorway watching them. They looked so happy. So comfortable. They didn't even notice me at first. When Lauren finally saw me, she barely reacted. Oh, you're home early. I said I thought maybe we could go out. Vanessa immediately said she wanted to try that new Italian place. Lauren agreed. Just like that, my surprise date became a group outing. We didn't go out. I said I was tired. I went to the bedroom and closed the door. Lauren didn't come check on me. She stayed downstairs with Vanessa watching movies until after midnight. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, realizing I had become completely irrelevant in my own life. The next morning, I woke up to find both of them already up having coffee and talking. I made myself breakfast in silence. Neither of them acknowledged me. I ate alone at the counter while they laughed together at the table. I felt invisible. That's when I knew something had to change. I couldn't live like this anymore. That evening, I asked Lauren if we could talk privately. She sighed dramatically, but followed me to the bedroom. I closed the door and took a breath. I said the situation with Vanessa has gone on too long. I need to know when she's moving out. Not eventually. Not someday. When specifically is she leaving? Lauren crossed her arms. Why does it matter so much to you? Because this is our home. Because I never signed up for a permanent roommate. Because I miss my wife and our life before all this. She stared at me coldly. You know what, David? Vanessa is going through a really hard time. She needs support. She needs stability. And I'm going to give that to her, because that's what friends do. If you have a problem with that, then maybe you should leave. The words hit me like a physical blow. If you don't like it, leave. My own wife telling me to get out of the house I paid for. The house I bought for us to build a life in. She was choosing her friend over her husband without even a moment of hesitation. I stood there processing. This was it. This was the moment. I could back down again. I could apologize and suck it up and keep living as a ghost in my own home. Or I could take her up on her offer. Okay, I said quietly. I'll leave. Her face changed. She hadn't expected that.
What?
You told me to leave if I don't like it. I don't like it.
So I'm leaving.
David, don't be ridiculous. I didn't mean literally leave. Yes, you did. You've made it very clear that Vanessa is more important to you than I am. You've chosen her over me every single day for 6 months. So fine. You can have the house and your best friend. I'm done.
You're being dramatic, she said.
But her voice wavered. I'm being clear. I'm leaving.
We're done.
I started packing a bag. Lauren stood in the doorway watching me. She went from angry to panicked. David, stop. Let's talk about this. You can't just leave. You told me to. I didn't think you actually would. That's the problem, Lauren. You didn't think. You didn't think about how this would affect me. You didn't think about our marriage. You didn't think about anything except what Vanessa wanted. I packed enough for a few days. I called my brother and asked if I could crash on his couch. He said yes immediately. When I came back into the bedroom, Lauren was sitting on the bed crying. Please don't go. We can work this out. When is Vanessa leaving? She hesitated. I don't know.
Soon.
We'll figure it out. That's not good enough. I'm done waiting. I'm done being last priority. I'm done living like this. I walked downstairs with my bag. Vanessa was in the living room. She looked up at me. Going somewhere? Leaving, actually. Permanently. Enjoy the house. Her face paled. What? I looked at her directly. You've spent 6 months making my life miserable in my own home. You've taken advantage of my hospitality and my wife's friendship. You've treated this place like it's yours. So, congratulations. You got what you wanted. I walked out. Lauren came running after me. David, please. We can fix this. Come back inside, and we'll talk. I put my bag in the car. There's nothing to talk about. You made your choice. Now live with it. I drove to my brother's place in silence. My phone started blowing up. Texts from Lauren. Voicemails. She was sorry. She didn't mean it. Please come home. I didn't respond to any of them. My brother Mike took one look at me and got me a beer. Want to talk about it? I told him everything. 6 months of living with Vanessa. The gradual takeover of my home. The way Lauren chose her friend over me again and again. The ultimatum that finally broke me. Mike listened without interrupting. When I finished, he said, "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to divorce her. And I'm going to sell the house." "The house is only in your name, right?" I nodded. "Only my name. I paid for it. The mortgage is mine." Lauren never contributed and never got added to the deed. Mike's eyebrows went up. "So legally, it's entirely yours. Entirely mine. Does Lauren know that?" "I don't think she's really thought about it. She's always just assumed we own it together." Mike leaned back.
Man.
She's in for a shock. The next morning, I called a real estate lawyer. I explained the situation. The house was in my name only. I wanted to sell it. My wife was living there, but had no legal claim to it. The lawyer confirmed I could absolutely sell it. I just needed to give proper notice. Then I called a divorce lawyer. Filed papers. Started the process. My lawyer said given that there were no kids and the major asset was solely in my name, it should be straightforward. I sent Lauren a formal email through my lawyer. I was filing for divorce. I would be selling the house. She had 60 days to find new living arrangements. All communication would go through lawyers from now on. Her response came within an hour. She called me crying hysterically. "You can't sell the house. I live here. This is my home too. Actually, it's not. It's my house. My name. My mortgage. My down payment. You've never paid a dollar toward it. But we're married. That makes it half mine. Not in this state. And not when there's clear documentation that I'm the sole owner." My lawyer confirmed it. She was sobbing. "David, please."
I'm sorry.
I was wrong about Vanessa. She's leaving.
She's moving out this week. Please don't do this.
It's already done, Lauren. I filed for divorce this morning. The house goes on the market next week. Where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem anymore. You have 60 days. What about Vanessa? I laughed. It wasn't a kind laugh. What about her? She's your best friend. Figure it out together. I hung up. My phone kept ringing. I turned it off. My brother looked at me. You okay? I will be. Over the next few days, the messages piled up. Lauren. Vanessa. Lauren's parents. Mutual friends. Everyone had an opinion. I was being cruel. I was overreacting. I should give Lauren another chance. Vanessa was already moving out. Couldn't I forgive and move on? I didn't respond to anyone. My lawyer handled everything. The house was listed. We got multiple offers immediately. It was a seller's market. I accepted an offer $15,000 over asking. Closing in 45 days. Lauren tried everything. She showed up at my office. Security walked her out. She sent letters. I returned them unopened. She had mutual friends call me. I told them all the same thing. My decision was final. The divorce papers were served. Lauren tried to contest it. Her lawyer quickly realized she had no ground to stand on. No kids. No shared assets. The only thing in question was splitting the furniture and personal items. My lawyer sent a list. She could have anything she wanted except my personal belongings. I just wanted out. 30 days before closing, Lauren finally moved out. She sent me a nasty email about how I ruined her life. How I was heartless. How she hoped I was happy destroying everything we built.
I didn't respond, but I did think about it.
What had we built? A marriage where I was taken for granted? A home where I was invisible? A life where my needs came last? If that's what we built, then I was happy to destroy it. Vanessa moved out at the same time. I heard through friends that she had to move back in with her parents. Apparently, no one else wanted to deal with her either. Lauren ended up renting a small apartment across town. Alone. The house sold. After closing costs and paying off the mortgage, I walked away with a nice chunk of money. I put it toward a new place. A condo downtown. 2 bedrooms. Just for me. The divorce was finalized 3 months later. Lauren didn't show up to the final hearing. She signed everything remotely. Her lawyer told mine that Lauren felt too emotional to attend. I felt nothing. No sadness. No anger. Just relief. I ran into one of Lauren's friends a few weeks later. She stopped me to tell me what a terrible person I was. How I kicked Lauren out of her home. How I abandoned her. How I ruined her life over one mistake. I looked at her calmly. Her one mistake was 6 months long. And she told me to leave.
So I did.
If that makes me terrible, then so be it. The friend had nothing to say to that. I walked away feeling lighter. My brother asked me once if I regretted how I handled it. If I wished I had tried harder to save the marriage. I thought about it.
Really thought about it. No.
I didn't regret it. Because the truth is the marriage was already dead. I had just been too comfortable to admit it. Lauren had checked out long before I left. She just wanted me to stay and pay for everything while she lived her life with Vanessa. The moment she told me to leave if I didn't like it, she revealed what she really thought. That I was replaceable. That I was less important than her friendship. That the home I provided and the life I built meant nothing compared to what Vanessa wanted. So I gave her exactly what she asked for. I left. And I took my house with me. 6 months after everything ended, I was doing well. Great, actually. I was dating someone new. Someone who valued me. I had friends over to my place without permission being an issue. I ate what I wanted. I decorated how I liked. I lived alone and loved it. I heard Lauren had reconciled with Vanessa briefly, but they had a falling out. Apparently living together in Lauren's small apartment without my money funding everything caused tension. They weren't speaking anymore. Lauren's parents had to help with her rent. I felt nothing hearing that. No satisfaction. No vindication. Just indifference. She was no longer my problem. My new girlfriend asked me once why the marriage ended. I told her the truth. My wife chose her friend over me every single day until I finally believed her and left. She said that must have been painful.
It was.
But staying would have been worse. A year after I left, Lauren tried to reach out. She sent an email. No lawyers this time. Just her. She said she had been going to therapy. She understood now what she did wrong. She was sorry. She wondered if we could talk. I read the email and closed it. I didn't respond. Some things can't be fixed with apology. Some damage is permanent. She made her choices. I made mine. We both had to live with them. I'm 35 now. Single and happy. Living in a space that's entirely mine. Building a life that reflects who I am and what I value. I don't let people take advantage of me anymore. I don't stay where I'm not valued. My wife's best friend moved into our guest room temporarily and never left. When I complained, my wife told me to leave if I didn't like it. So I left. And I took the house with me. Some people think I was too harsh. That I should have tried harder. Given more chances. Been more understanding. But those people didn't live what I lived. They didn't feel invisible in their own home. They didn't watch their marriage crumble while a stranger took over their life. I made the right choice. The hard choice. The choice that set me free. And I would do it again without hesitation. Because I finally learned that sometimes walking away is not giving up. Sometimes it's the only way to save yourself. The guest who never left taught me something valuable. She taught me my worth. She taught me my limits. And she taught me that I deserved better than being a ghost in my own life. For that lesson, as painful as it was, I'm grateful. I'm building something new now. Something solid. Something that's entirely mine. No unwanted house guests. No one-sided sacrifices. No more being invisible. Just me, my life, my choices. And that's exactly how it should be.